Your Holiness, we thank you so much for your wonderful and enlightening comments, and we're all very grateful that you chose to be here with us this morning. We thank you too for your willingness to take questions from our audience, and if you'll permit, I will read the first one and ask for your response, please. In what sense is democracy universal, and why is nonviolence so important?
I think already mentioned. I think democracy, of course, I don't know the real sort of the meaning.
The English word.
As I mentioned earlier, I think the people should participate. How to rule, how to govern themselves. So that means respect, equality. So that's very, very important. I think Buddhist tradition also. It's a Buddha, I think for Buddhist monk, the monastic sort of system, there are 100 different sort of acts. All these acts must carry by group of bhikshu or monk. No single monk, no right, has authority. So therefore, I think, and then also, you see, whenever, every act, when we carry, firstly, we have to ask the person whether you accept this sort of task or not. Then, after he say, yes, I'm willing, then have to mention, ask the group of the Sangha. Now, this person accepted the task. Now, the group of Sangha, whether unanimous agreement or not, 3 times ask. Then 3 times ask, no answer, no opposition. Then consider unanimous agreement. Then that person carry the act. So that's, I think, a very democratic principle. I think Buddha himself had authority, but he never sort of gave authority to single Buddhist monk, isn't it? Like that. So that's quite a sort of democratic, I think, system. And then no sort of, what's the respect? I mean, no concern about different classes. So even Chairman Mao, 1950, I think 55 maybe, on one occasion Chairman Mao told me, Buddha, he considered one revolutionary person. The existing caste system in India, Buddha against that. So he started his sort of teaching. So Chairman Mao considered him as a ancient revolutionary. So like that. And just ask what. So democracy, naturally, you have to listen to others' view. Even different views, you must respect. So any disagreement or different view come, eliminate that, it's violence. Listen to their views and respect their different views or even the opposite views. You must respect. We have to find sort of common ground through talk, through understanding. So that means dialogue. That is the basis of non-violence. Non-violence does not mean remain silent or indifferent. Non-violence means problem. You heavily engage, but without sort of using force. So this is very much related.
When did you first realize that Tibet had to take the path of democracy and modernization and does not threaten traditional Tibetan values.
I think, as I already mentioned, I think main sort of better knowledge, democracy after we come to India. And then there is no no danger. I think real Buddhist tradition, as I mentioned earlier, I think very democratic principle. And then also, particularly Nalanda tradition, say, we must remain skeptical and carry out investigation. Through investigation, through experiment, then things become clear. Then you accept. Buddha himself, you see, mentioned, oh, my follower should not accept my teaching out of faith, out of devotion, but rather your own experiment and investigation. So this is very scientific. Then I have to mention, you see, in Tibetan tradition, sometimes the Lama position sometimes become like social status. And through that way, some corruptions there. So now time comes. We must go to the root, the real Nalanda tradition. So I often, you see, when I give some teaching, I often prefer the text wrote by those reliable, authentic, great masters of Nalanda institution. So now I think if we go the real sort of back to the source, then I think it's a very scientific, very democratic principle. So no contradiction.
Which country will have greater influence in the world in the years ahead? Democratic India or Communist China?
I think the United States. What, repeat that question. What do you mean? Between China and India?
Democratic India and Communist China.
Oh, between these two. Then of course, I think recently, Indian Prime Minister, sometimes I describe him as a saintly Prime Minister. Very nice. His record, very clean. His face also looks like saint. So, you see, he expressed, although economy field, India, a little bit today, behind, but India, democracy, transparent, and has a free information, open society, and independent judiciary. So he mentioned these things. So these are much lacking in People's Republic of China, unfortunately.